to everybody for another edition of e-Mandhaara at Sasken. As you're aware, e-Mandhaara features people who have done some outstanding work across multiple fields. Typically, we restrict our honored guests to fields other than IT so that we can learn from multiple perspectives. Today, it's my absolute honor to briefly introduce the phenomenal amount of good, noble work, if I might say, performed by Dr. Bhuvana Vasudevan. She's a social entrepreneur in a world which is always chasing money. Seeing someone who's a social entrepreneur is a refreshing change. She's a professional academician who has dual doctorates. Getting one doctorate is a tough thing, but here is a person with a double doctorate in psychology and special education. She has a proven track record in providing special education to people who have been neglected thus far in many parts of the world and more so in India. Since 1998, so which means for a very long time, she's been passionately working in the area of educating and giving a ray of hope and a path to people with a lot of challenges. She is the founder of the Pondicherry Dyslexia Association, an organization that's extremely well known. In this distinguished career of hers, she has coached and mainstreamed more than 6,000 students spread over close to 25 plus years. So with a warm round of applause, please welcome her, where I'll continue to read out some more of her accomplishments. Dr. Vasudevan, Dr. Bhuvana Vasudevan has counseled multiple types of people, dropouts, depressed students, and today it's very sad, we know it's a reality. Depression is not something that only strikes people at a certain age, it can strike people as early as even 5, 10 in that range. And of course, she's an expert, she will talk to you about it. So she's counseled dropouts, depressed children, juvenile delinquents, often, the result of poverty or, getting into company which is not so desirable, drug addicts, which is another menace in our society, female students under home observation for their safety or for other behavioral challenges, and students referred to by the police. Not in all cases, police are bad as they're pictured out to be. Many times police turn out to be good saviors and refer people who need to be reformed, either with criminal tendencies or delinquent behavior, who can easily be put part on the back of recovery. So these are some of the people who have been, mainlined and mainstreamed by Dr. Bhuvana Vasudevan. She's also worked with people who are slow learners, and many of us do not recognize that this is an issue, but can be addressed. Often we put labels on them, which is very wrong, not at all desirable. Slow learning or learning at any pace must be encouraged. She has done that. She has also helped people read, write, overcome things like speech delays, maybe things like stammering, through the appropriate therapy, which is very, very important, which has had a positive impact on their scholastic skills. Dr. Bhuvana Vasudevan's work has received numerous accolades. If you go to their website, you will find a number of recognitions from the government, from thankful students, from parents, and multiple people. She also received the award for the prestigious Best School from someone who's highly respected in society, Lieutenant Governor Kiran Bedi. As some of you who have been in Sasken for long might even recall, Dr. Kiran Bedi spoke in the very same platform. So it's a double honor for us. We've heard Dr. Bedi before, and now somebody whom she recognizes as a key contributor to the welfare of the community at Pondicherry. She regularly conducts awareness programs and counseling sessions for parents of children who are slow learners, who are dyslexic, and who also have autism spectrum disorders, which is quite a challenge, and people with attention AHTH, a syndrome which is a very difficult one to handle. She has adopted over 100 orphan children. As if this much of work of mainlining 6,000 children was not enough. She has, over and above that, she's got 100 plus orphan children and semi-orphan children who have been adopted by the organization, whom they completely nurture, support through their education and livelihood. For her efforts, she has been recognized across various reputed publications such as Dinamala, The Hindu, Times of India, The Indian Express, among others. So put your hands together for Dr. Bhuvana Vasudevan and listen to what she has to say about this unique journey of hers, which is mainstreamed over 6,000 plus people and sheltered over 100 plus orphans. Warm welcome to you, madam. Thank you for joining us at Mandara.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. My humble pranams. My humble pranams and salutations to Mr. Sami, and to the coordinator and all the pillars and stalwarts of Sasken technology. I am highly honored to be amidst the Hall of Fame, extremely grateful for the opportunity to present about myself, that is the journey in the field of special education. I'm just wondering whether am I really a very big attractive person to just present about my journey? Anyway, there are so many people who have achieved so much of dignitaries and performance in their life. But whatever I have done, I'm really grateful to God and to my parents and to all the people who are just around me, who have supported me, my husband, my family, yes, to everyone. I'm really honored and grateful for the tremendous support which I've received in my journey. I just started my journey from accounts assistant to I just came to ITC, travel house. I was working as a travel executive there. And I also had a flair for journalism. Initially, I never thought that I would come into education. Journalism, writing. I had so much of a flair for writing. And I was also working, along with ITC, I was also working with a company known as Madras Times. Now it's spread everywhere like Mambalam Times, Mylapore Times and all that. So I was just working with them, and I used to go and interview all the experts who have just done a lot of achievements in their own field. And the editor, he just gave me a page to write, give a write-up. He gave me a free hand. So that's how I was really motivated to write and things like that. And then got married, and as usual, so in 91, I came to Pondicherry. And since I already had a lot of passion for teaching, right from my childhood, when I was in 4th standard, 5th standard itself, my parent always used to tell me that there are always a lot of children around me, LKG, UKG, small kids who used to sit along with me, and they will read along with me. It was a colony, so there were many, around 50 houses there. And so many children used to just come and sit, and even their parents used to send, go sit with Bhuvana Akka and read and things like that. So almost Chota Beam children, they used to come and sit with me, and I used to enjoy being with them. I used to teach them and things like that. Even I used to play with them. So all kind of, all the nuances from the childhood, whatever I had in my childhood. And I just enjoyed playing with the children. Even now I enjoy playing with children. And whenever I have to teach something or from the house, whatever I have, I used to pick up all kind of things, all small things, right from keychain to matchbox, or whatever is available at home. All small things. I just used to put in the bag, and I used to go to school, and I used to enjoy. Even in my house, all my family members used to ask, if I just keep anything in the sofa, they'll say, "Oh, you're going to take it to the school." It's like that. So everything I used to carry, and I used to play. I used to do a lot of dramatic role play with the children, so that they enjoy with natural experiences, more than just to teach them through talk chalk method, and give them more experiential learning. So when I started taking tuitions and grammar, and I became very famous for English grammar and mathematics and all that. So from my area, from my locality, there were so many students used to come, and our entire house will be filled with a lot of students. And even in the kitchen, I used to make the students to sit, and I used to make them to do the test and things like that. So it just went on, and then luck favored my way when I got into Kendra Vidyalaya, and it was a very great big opportunity for me to explore, to implement what all I wanted to do. It was a real platform for me, and all my thought process, whatever I just wanted to do, I really did. All the imaginations and whatever I had, I just used to make my own structured learning, and I used to implement. I used to demonstrate with the children. So it was a real platform for me, learning platform. Along with the children, I also learned a lot of things. And at the age of 17, in Hindu, actually, there was a write-up, there was an article saying that whoever wanted to just explore on the school, like if you wanted to give your idea, like how a school should be, how the school management should treat the children, and what all the child needs. There was a write-up, and it was an open write-up for everyone, and they said you can just participate, anyone can participate. So I just gave my views, and I just started writing, and it just came to 25 pages. Then I just posted it to Hindu, that post box and all that, and finally mine was selected, and I was awarded for that. So I think the dream of having a school had been in my mind always, and but I never knew I will start a school. So it was not in my it was not a cup of tea for me. So I never I never even imagined that I will start a school, because in my family, like, nobody had any background of working with a school or any educational this thing institution and things like that. All of them are in different fields, mostly in the government departments and all. And I hail from a traditional Brahmin family, so you can imagine like how things will be at our end. So restricted with so many things around us. But I always used to know, I used to voice for my choices. That is there right from my childhood. I voicing my choices. I bravely stepped out, chasing my way to success dreams. And honestly, I never thought, but I will start a school. But I always believe that whatever I wanted to do, I wanted to excel in whatever I do. I used to think, even if I happen to become a street sweeper, someone should come and someone should always think, saying that there is no street sweeper like her. She did her best. It's like that. And I vividly remember someone just, I believe, asked Mohammed Rafi, I would give myself for your music. And Mohammed Rafi replied, it seems, yes, I did. It's like that. If you have any passion, if you want to chase whatever passion you have, if you want to create your own identity, definitely you need to work fully, work around 24 by 7. Thus, I just created my own identity, but I gracefully accepted different roles without any expectation from neither appreciation from anyone. Expectation and appreciation definitely will throng our ego. So we should never expect anything from anyone, and you should never expect others to appreciate you. You just have to keep on going on in your journey. And that inner trait, I'm more of a philosophical person, and that also I think my mom has nurtured that kind of seed in me. So I always used to think, that whatever we do, nothing, we are not doing anything. It's all God's work, and I just owe everything to God. So, and I'm not a commercial person at all. I'm not behind money. I'm not for money also. So whatever I get, I just give it off to the society. I give it off to the children, and we do a lot of charity work also. And we have a Padashala. There are around 25 children there, and we give them the best education, feed them, and things like that. So I have a certain kind of whatever moralities I just wanted to do. I'd been doing with God's grace. So yeah. So and when I just started the school and things like that, and all the societal unconventional voicing just came to me. And they said, is it okay, you're going to start a school and you're in Kendriya Vidyalaya, would you like to leave your job, and why do you have to do that? You can always be there. And there are so many voices which just came in. But I said, no, this is not my cup of tea. I wanted to serve children. And how I found out that there are a few differences among the children when I was taking class in Kendriya Vidyalaya, and also at my home when I was taking tuitions. every student would like to achieve success in their journey of education. But only few students are able to achieve success and the others remain as failures or underachievers. Why is the difference? What makes them to be a non-achiever? When the same conventional methodology of teaching is being done through talk chalk method, and why few of the children are not able to succeed in their journey of education? This was my big question mark. Then I just started, I did a lot of research, in the year of 92, 93. I just started making a lot of research, and why is it so, and why there are different type of learners, and how to teach. And me as a teacher, I never used to stand or sit and, I used to take classes. I always like to move around. I always used to make a lot of modulations, articulations in my voice, and make the class very interesting, so that to grab attention from children. My teaching will always be like that. So then I just realized, okay, there are, being a psychologist, the background of psychology and special education has everything helped me. And I just realized there are many type of learners. Each one cannot grab or absorb whatever a teacher teaches through talk and chalk method. Then I just started making a lot of alterations in my methodology of teaching. And then I just started a therapy center, and it was very unique, the Pioneer Institute in Pondicherry. There was no one who had the courage to start this kind of center, because this is purely non-commercial, only service-based organization. And it was first of its kind in Pondicherry. I'm really so proud about that, because even when I would have been in Kendra Vidyalaya, but I wouldn't have got this kind of recognition. There are so many teachers working and things like that, but I just wanted to do something very unique among the educationists who are available among the society. So I had faced a lot of challenges, and there were many kind of, the parents, they never used to accept when the child has got dyslexia and things like that. And when we have to explain to them, because after Tare Zameen Par, and now there are 2-3 Tamil movies also which have just come. And after all that, I think there are awareness among the parents and also among the educators. But still, it is not like US or UK. And India, still, we need to create more awareness. And that is my journey. I'm still on the journey of creating more awareness, and why children are getting delayed, and why they are not able to study, and what are the developmental needs in children, and what could be the possible solution to the problem. So all these things I'm still working on. And parents, they just get connected by the problem. See, what is very important is, like, we should not just get connected by the problem, and what is very important is we should deal with the problem, isn't it? So children, by default, childhood should be cherishable, and they have to enjoy everything and things like that. But learning, study, it is only part of their childhood. So that alone is not the entire childhood. So what parents and educators are missing out in the journey of education is, that play. Children are definitely, nowadays, children are missing their play. See, by removing the play from the childhood, and if you just give them only reading, writing, spelling, and all these kind of practice, abba, kada, and things like that, and how will the children learn? Because the developmental milestones have gone, and the children are just skipping. They're not doing anything. The voluntary, involuntary actions, everything has been stopped, and they just do everything offhand, and they just travel. They bypass and just go. So all these things will definitely have, it will have a hampering in their studies. So how children learn only through play, that too in the developmental milestones, that the child, they just they go about, they move around. That moving around is very, very important for any child. No, nowadays we don't allow. We take very pride in just saying that my child never did all that. My child, straight away my child just started standing. He just stood. he never did anything. No, we feel pride. Actually, all that is very, very wrong practice. And any child must do the crawling and moving around, and everything has to be done in proper time. And moreover, now with the gadgets, what is happening? And children are more with gadgets only, and there is no self-driven or purposeless continuous play is missing. And see, any child, the importance of play should be taught and should be given to the child. The opportunity to play should be there, and if the child does not receive any kind of play, then the childhood is lost, and nobody grows by doing the same thing over and over again. So the play should be self-driven, it should be purposeless, it should be continuous. See, even when we were young and all that, the matchbox, we used to play with the matchbox, and matchbox will move, and suddenly table will move, and suddenly whatever things, whatever is even the tumbler, whatever we have, we just used to move around and we used to play and things like that. See, we should play like that, we should become self-absorbed in play. See, nowadays what is happening? Children are missing out all this. Even why I'm saying all this, because there are many, there should be many youngsters in this group, and children used to, and child, when my mother is just having around, you would have seen, the child is playing with anklets, child is playing with bangle. No, the child realizes, yes, this is a part of my body, this is the part of the brain, and the child realizes, and child will just pull around your hair, and child will just hang on to your chain and everything. You would have seen child doing all this kind of temper tantrums, because the child is just trying to learn. Is this the nervous system? A nervous system, and just take it to the mouth, and infant brain will act only to the whole brain technology. Only then after 8 years and all, only the dominance brain comes out, whether you're going to be a right brain oriented or left brain oriented. So the child realizes about the frame of reference. So this is what I'm going to learn. And when a child just puts the dabra, or puts the tumbler, or puts a spoon down, and the child will just smile away, and the child will expect someone to just take and hand it over to the child. Why is it so? Because the child is just learning. Child is just learning that auditory discrimination faculty is there. See, all this kind of typical behavior, we have forgotten how it is to be purposeless. This is what is very important now, and now with the gadgets around. So what we are doing is screen. With the screen, what is the screen play? Whatever we play with the gadgets and all that, we are not going to learn anything, because why? Everything is stated, everything is defined, everything is predetermined, everything is expected, and someone has already designed everything, and you're just going to give your opinion or your view, and in that also they're just going to give you marks. They're going to allocate that you have become first, second, and things like that, and there is nothing, there's no creativity in that. There is no model listening, there is no model learning, there's no reciprocity. See, all these things is definitely missing in the game of gadgets. And unidirectional, there's only unidirectional. There is no reciprocity. So what is the point in just playing with the gadgets? So gadgets is someone's idea. It is you just outsmart it, and eye movement. Just imagine why there are so many children affected with ADHD now, attention deficit problem, because of the ocular movement. We just focus on the gadgets, and there's no movement of the eyes, and eye movement is very much essential for north, south, east, west, and things like that. And only when the eyes move, our auditory disassociation can be developed in the brain, and this will definitely have a reflection in the classroom. And during play, what happens? The children also, there will be a bossy child, and there will be a submissive child, and children learn to move with so many kids around, and they know how to behave with people, and they will also kind of exchange empathizing with others, and they will develop perceptual maturity. So all these things are very, very important when the child is playing. See, without skipping all this, we're just pushing the child only to academics. See, only academic oriented work is not at all advisable. So make the child to learn, so that the child gets to know, become aware about his bodily parts and his fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and everything gets developed. And by default, the child already start learning. And parents should realize this. And so many parents, who just come for counseling and things like that. Initially, they're not able to accept that the child has a problem, and then with repeated counseling and things like that, then they just realize that this is the kind of problem my child has. And now in our society, it's become a taboo. Still 25% of our community, still they feel it's a taboo. My child is not like that, and more men are like that. At least mothers realize that some kind of problem my child has. And even when the mother expresses, and either their mother-in-law or their father, they keep saying, no, you're only finding fault with your child. There's nothing wrong. You're finding some kind of you're always fault finder. You do something always, things like that. So mothers are really, there are so many houses, mothers are really suffering without able to explain to their either to their husband or to their mother-in-law or father-in-law. They're having definitely they're having real problem. And now when even just day before yesterday, when the third standard boy, when he just came for counseling, and they said like he's not reading, he's not writing, and things like that. And the parent said he's just showing his temper tantrums like anything. He broke the TV. He broke the he brought the entire he brought the roof down the hall, and he just threw away everything and all that. So I was just casually, slowly, just empathizing and talking with the child, and just built a rapport. It is not so easy to get information from the child, so you have to build a rapport and things like that. So I was just through a kind of technique, I was just making him to answer like what is the problem and things like that. And the boy clearly expresses, saying that my teacher says I cannot study, I cannot learn. No, I'm a slow learner. I cannot learn, and things like that. And the boy says, with a clear voice, he says, tell the teacher that she is only slow learner. No, I'm not a slow learner. Tell her to go and find out how she has to teach everyone in the class. She doesn't know how to teach. So the boy clearly expresses. Then I just made him. We do art therapy in our center. So I just made him to, when the child is not able to express verbally, they can just express their emotions through their kind of drawing and things like that. So then I just made him to draw something, and in that he just put a lot of emojis, all with anger face. And he says, I don't like anyone. I don't like my mother. I don't like my teacher. I don't like anyone. Then suddenly he just said, if someone, he just put a smiley face. If someone comes to me and says, I can understand you, you can learn very well, then definitely I will like that face. Then finally he's just putting a small smiley face in that. So any child knows what is essential, what is necessary for the child. And similarly, like a 5-year-old child, just 5-year-old, she has just gone to school, and the mathematics teacher, she tells her, and you're not getting numbers. You're very slow numbers. You're not able to by heart the numbers. You're not able to write the numbers properly. I think mathematics is going to be very difficult for your child. She tells her mother, and she is just given C for that, and she's given A in all those areas, and she's given C. So the child, typically she just comes and says, now she is in 4th standard. Even now she keeps recalling whatever has happened in her 5-year-old, and she says, no, mathematics is tough. I cannot get mathematics because when I was 5-year-old, my teacher told me that I cannot do mathematics properly. So this is the kind of feedback what a teacher gives, and how the child changes and with their emotions built within themselves. And there is always a lot of conflict between challenges. Whatever conflict we have, it is almost between practical rightness and technical rightness. See, there was a boy by name Sukumar, and he just had when I was just taking some mathematics like basic, just giving him some mathematics we have word problems and all that. So when I was discussing with him, and I said, yeah, Sukumar, I am giving you 5 apples, and 3 apples you are giving it to Sanjay. And what is remaining with you? And Sukumar was saying, I have 5. I said, no, Sukumar, you have 5 and you have given 2 to Sanjay. And what is left? See, for all these kids, what is left over, all these are very, very difficult for these children to understand the difference, very difficult to understand. At least addition, they will be able to do better. But, multiplication is a reversal process. Again, subtraction, they find it very difficult. So I was just asking him. Again, I was just repeatedly saying the same question. Again and again, he keeps saying, I have 5. And I said, okay, let me just change from apple to strawberry. Then when I changed to strawberry, I said, Sukumar, 5 strawberry. And given 2 to Sanjay, what is remaining with you? And he immediately says 3. Then I just said, yeah, fine. He has understood mathematics very well. And I was again putting the same question of apple. And the boy clearly again he says 5. Then I said, no, Sukumar, you said 5 for this. And again, strawberry, again, you just said the correct answer. Just tell me what is it about. And he's just taking from his bag, He says, I already have 2 apples with me, madam. So, yeah, the child is right, isn't it? See, technically, whatever he says, according to mathematics, may be wrong. We may say you're wrong, but practical rightness is always there. Like this only, we have a lot of conflict even among the family. A lot of conflict will be there only between this practical rightness and technical rightness. And what is happening to Gangaru? You all must have learnt about it. You all must have heard about it. When it just gives birth to an infant, it immediately gives a great kick to that infant, and soon as the infant just comes and just landed in the floor, it just takes a great kick and it just goes wobbling and it just comes down again. And the infant doesn't know, where am I? What is happening to me? So, Gangaru, it just makes the infant to stand on its own legs, independent, be independent, and you have to be on your own legs and things like that. But whereas what human beings are doing, we always keep pampering the children. We give them all in abundance. Whatever the child doesn't need, anything. There is no tolerance. Tolerance are gone. The children have lost their patience, and waiting time is gone. Children have become much impulsive in nature, and jumping minds, because children are not able to concentrate on one towards one task. So always multitasking. So importance of play is not there, and so children are really suffering like anything nowadays, because and also with our comfort zone, we have just made our children highly comfort. We think we are just giving them in abundance. Whatever the child doesn't require, we give them everything to them. Whatever is required, we have failed in our duty to give to the children. So this is what is there is a huge gap for the society now, and learning ability, it always decides your learning capacity. So you must have also heard about the story in IT staff who were just plowing his fields and things like that. Unconventional person, an IT technology related person, he was just doing everything as per the technology and things like that. But whereas the conventional person's farm, it just grew so well and everything was so prosperous in his field, and the IT person was just wondering what is happening, why there is not much of yield in my farm, but whereas I did everything according to the gadgets, whatever information I received from the internet, I just did everything. Why my farm is not prospering very well when compared to the person with conventional methodology? And the farmer, aged person, conventional person, he said, like, I gave only what is necessary for my plant, and I know the roots will always go deep down, and the roots knows what it needs and how it has to grow and how it has to take its own shape, and how it has to take away the storms and whatever obstacles coming in its way. The tree knows how to withstand and what it has to do and things like that. Whereas you have just given everything in abundance, so the tree doesn't know. The tree has faltered. The tree doesn't know what to do. So similarly, this is what we are doing with our own children. We give them everything excess. We give them everything abundance. So they do not know the value of what is important, what is necessary for them, that the children are really missing. And nowadays, what is happening with our education system? Everything is only shallow learning. We just say they don't go anything in depth. They don't go in deep of any kind of studies. It's all shallow learning. Suppose I just tell the law of attraction. I just read a book, and someone just asked me, yeah, did you read Law of Attraction? I said, yeah, it's a very good book. And again, I must tell you, you must read the book. Is it the correct answer? And what we should say, yeah, what is the takeaway from the book? What is the quality of output? That is very important. If X is the input, then 2X should be the output. And if 2X is the input, and 4X should be the output. And now the takeaway is missing in children and also adults. We are all, we have lost our attention because of this using of excessive gadgets and things like that. And multitasking, yes, that has become very common now. And we are reading a book and watching a video, or book reading has gone. I'm just saying maybe browsing through the mobile and watching a video, and we are also looking to the notifications and things like that. And women are very, very good in multitasking, and they will have cradle in the baby, and they'll be cooking inside, and they will also hear the sound of the cooker, and there'll be 6 or 7-year-old also crying from the sleep, and she'll be able to manage everyone, and she knows what the child needs just with the sound of the cry. So, for single tasking, what is very important is you need minimum 10,000 hours to what to say to learn anything, to learn and master anything. For any kind of single tasking work, for any kind of work you need to master, you need minimum 10,000 hours. But are we spending that much of amount of time for learning anything? Whenever we just sit or learn to do something, our mind keeps jumping. We just move from one thing to another, and the quality of retention is gone, the quality of recall is gone. We see so many messages, we see so many things from Facebook and everything on WhatsApp and all that, but what is it that we have carried over? Not at all. And we just forward, we just leave it. And what is very important is after we learn something, we need to reflect on what is the takeaway. This is what is very important. And how can I use these information? Am I missing anything? Implementation. Am I missing the implementation? Learning without implementation, there is no use at all. And we may say so many things, we may know many things. And what is important is whatever we say and whatever we know, are we doing it? A lousy action is always better than no action. If you have to travel a mile, the first step out of the house is very, very important. And if you would have seen the result of all the successful people who have achieved real success in their life, they're all very good achievers in their life. And building castles is good as long as you put pillars under it. Just building castles, just building dreams alone is not enough. So what is very important is you have to put pillars and live in your dream. You should always have a vigil's eye, eagle's eye. I always say eagle's eye because your eye should be like an eagle, or even like a dog, vigil dog. A dog, even at the slightest sound, the dog just immediately opens and just shouts, or just go around or run around and things like that. And anything, whatever you have, your dream or everything, must really to manifest or to attract. It should always be there in your mind when you're sleeping or when you're eating. Every artery, every bone, every tendon, every blood vessel, every nerve should always wanting only one thing. You should always chase your goals beyond your living capacity. See, that is what I did, Uh, Actually, I never knew about all these goals and things like that when I just started. But whatever I do, I just do it with so much of commitment and perseverance will be there. I used to strive hard to achieve that, whether it's in the evening or night or whatever time, I used to take it, I used to just do it. So there are many employees here. So whether you're underpaid or overpaid, if you learn faster, you have unfair advantage over others. So anything you learn faster, oh, definitely you have unfair advantage over others. So I just want to tell you about a small this thing about A B C D E F G H. So in order to reach heights, so what is very important is A. Yes, we should always adapt whatever the situation. Never grumble about anything, and never allow or never expect others to fix the things for you. We have to adapt and we have to just get ourselves adaptable towards the situation and just believe that you can do. And why belief system is very important. That ocular movement is very important for to understand the belief system, because that perinatal nerve and also your occipital nerve is very important in order to understand or make the belief system to work through your eye movement. So belief is very important, and committed. Be committed, totally committed. Surrender towards your job. That is very important. And also discover, like what I must do next. What have I done yesterday? What I must do next. You have to keep on discovering about your journey, and also make a brief description about what is it that you're lacking. What is your strength? What is your weakness? Just keep analyzing yourself, and put in a lot of efforts. Put in a lot of efforts. And in order to put efforts, what is very important is you need to have a sustainable enthusiasm and efficiency. This is what is very important, and you should really be flexible. We cannot be rigid. You should be flexible, and you should always carry with you the fantastic feeling, like I'm going to do something, I'm going to achieve something, I'm just working on something. I really don't find time for anything. I don't have any free time. I'm always doing something purposefully in life. That is very important. And then G is, in order to achieve your goal, you should definitely come across all this. You should become a genius in whatever you're just doing it. And something that keeps the goal, which keeps the goal moving forward, is you should always be committed wholeheartedly. The winning moment, the crowning moment is very important. And the world is always filled with challenges. There are so many thorns. I have faced many challenges in this journey. Even now, 12th standard exam, and there were a lot of dyslexic children who were just writing, and we didn't get the proper uh, forms or anything for their, they get these concessions for the examination and things like that. And I had to go there and find out whether everything is fixed for them, whether everything is okay. Until the last minute, there'll be a lot of challenges, a lot of tensions in each and every work, whatever we do. And we have to overcome all that. Like there'll always be thorns in our journey, and we should not complain about thorns, isn't it? We should always wear thick shoes and continue our journey. And what is very important is, am I better than what I was yesterday? And all of us keep on repeating, everything, every way, is I'm fine, I'm growing better and better. Every way I'm growing better and better. I'm fine than yesterday. Just question yourself in the morning and also in the night. Just keep questioning yourself. What have I done today? What have I achieved today? Is my day very helpful? Is my day very fruitful? Have I done something useful for anyone? Or just leave alone everything. We don't have to do anything also. Or just think over whether, just ponder over whether I've been lovable, and whether I had the quality of compassionate within me. Have I empathized with anyone, or did I find fault? All these things we have to analyze, and we have to keep repeating every day. Just sit in the bed, morning 3 minutes, and also in the night 3 minutes. Just find out for yourself what you should do, where we should change. We cannot change anyone. Outside world, the situation, nothing can be changed. But what the change should come only within ourselves. So we should only change. So that is what is very important, because each one's karma is different. We cannot just go and change anyone. And yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate also a small spelling, like how we used to. I mean, I used to teach in the school, so that maybe if there are any parents, or if you want to teach your own children also, you can just try with this technique. And suppose I just go to first standard, even our first standard or second standard children also, they used to say multi-syllable words. We don't restrict them only with the books. Whatever is given in the book, only with that spelling. And nowadays, teachers and all say they'll give D words. It is not D words. We have to give them all easy words for them to learn and things like that. And how important, what is very important is how well we are taking that spelling to the children. Each and every child will be able to take everything, whatever we give. So what is very important is whether we have changed our methodology of teaching, and how well we have reached the children in order to make the children to learn and excel in their life. So I just maybe last week, as last week was our last working day, and can you just allow to just give few presentation? There are 2-3 pictures. Can we just have it?
Sure, madam.
Yeah.
We have
Shall I make
15 more minutes or 10
Yeah,
minutes?
yeah. Yes.
So-
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I think you will be able to do. I think from the other laptop, I think he's still he has not got the admit.
Doctor, does he have the Teams link? Because we haven't received any request from him.
Just check whether you have sent it. Yeah, you sent the request. Request. Yeah. Request put. Yeah, he has sent request, it seems. Just check anyway. I'll just complete. Yeah. So suppose I just last day of the school, so I just it was around 12 o'clock, I think. So I was just telling my student, I just entered the we have level based training actually. I just entered the first level class, and I just, yeah, children, I think you all are very hungry. Yeah, are you all hungry? எல்லாருக்கும் பசிக்குதா, நம்ம சாப்பிடலாமா? Shall we eat? Yeah, what do you want to eat? Shall we go to the mess? You know what is a mess? Mess is known as hotel. They'll have all kind of nice nourishing foods will be there. Shall we just go and eat in that mess? Hotel, yeah, is also known as mess. And who's the owner of that mess? Mary. I do know Mary. I just showed them a small picture of Mary. I said, this is Mary. She is the owner of the mess. Even you all have a house, no? You have a house, and who is the owner of that house? Your father is the owner of the house, no? So your mother is the owner of the house, no? Similarly, for this mess, Mary, she is the owner of the house. And you know what? She likes singing very much. She loves to sing. You all like to sing? Yeah, shall we sing together? Yeah. Aragarogara, Swami Aragarogara. When we just give this rhythm and things like that, children, they just enjoy, and they say, yeah, ma'am, yes, ma'am, we'll go to the mess, yeah. And then I repeatedly ask them, who's the owner of the mess? Mary. What she likes to do? Singing. Aragarogara, Swami Aragarogara. How she sings? Yeah, she sings like this. Yeah, shall we just go to the mess? Mess, Mary, sing. Our food is, it's mesmerizing. Our food is mesmerizing. And you just say this, introduce this word to them. Mesmerizing. The children just love, They all enjoy. And see, the thing is, the methodology that we just take, there are different type of learners in the classroom. If there are 40 children in the classroom, definitely 6 to 8 children will learn differently. Only this conventional methodology of learning will not help them in any way. And what is very important is we have to give them a different kind of spectrum. And actually, according to the statistics, 64% they use their left brain, and there are 16% of the children they use right brain, and the remaining children they use the whole brain. They use both left and right. So what is very important, the methodology, the teaching methodology, whatever we do, everything is only in the board, and when we just say something and we just say orally, we make them to learn, we make them to read and all that. So that kinesthetic learning, that movement, that moving around, play with the children and just do a lot of articulation, all these are missing. So we have to identify the children for what kind of learner they are, whether they're auditory learner or visual learner, tactile learner or kinesthetic learner. And there are also different through different organs, through different sensory organs we receive information. So what is very important is what is the dominant sensory organ for the child. So that also we have to keen in observing each and every child and find out whether the child is observing through which sensory organ and what is dominant, and how we can take over this particular subject to the child, not to make him learn the content. So all these are very, very important. See, today also I received a call from Delhi, one of the parent, like she just saw my this Better India, that magazine, and she had been in touch with me for the past 1 month, inquiring about her child and all that. And today she just told me to speak to the principal, and she said, "Madam, she's already 15-year-old, and my school, they're just admitting her. They say that she is fit to be only in 5th standard, and she's already 15-year-old. Kindly just speak to the principal, madam, how to accommodate her and things like that." So I just spoke to the principal. I made her to convince her, it is not necessary. And she said, "Yeah, I just made kind of assessment with psychologist and special educator and all that. Her level is only 5th standard, so I cannot put her in any class. She has to be only in 5th standard." I said, "Madam, 15-year-old 5th standard. Just imagine when will she complete her 10th standard?" And there are a lot of disparity. So just then I explained to her how that education should be given to her and all that. And she was so much convinced, and she said, "Madam, you must come to Delhi and to our school, and we need such kind of kind of advice, and how it is to be done and things like that." So I was really happy that I did something for a child who's just far away from Pondicherry. So these kind of support is very much necessary for the children who are slow learners or dyslexic child or ADHD, autism and all that. So uh, you know this is where change has to come, and ours is very much not with much infrastructure and things like that. And for the past 2 years, actually we are struggling actually struggling to have a sustainability rather. So I'm also trying how to do and things like that for the next year and all, looking out for some kind of amalgamation or some kind of technology, what best we can just do for our children. And I'm also looking out into all those areas. And so how much I cherish to be in the hall of fame among you all. So that's really my pleasure to be with you all. Maybe we'll just see a few 5 minutes. We'll just see the clipping, and maybe you'll just see the child in live, like what he has done and how she has done, how she's performing and things like that. Maybe you could just see that video. Akash, are you able to do it? Yeah, he says that admit
Madam,
not there
you
yet.
can, or else you can mail it to us and we will present it.
Ma'am, I
Okay,
think he's
just
joined the next call. He's not joined in this call, so please ask him to join in this.
I think நீ 5th ஜாயின் பண்ணியா 5 பாருங்க, இல்லைன்னா அவங்களுக்கு மெயில் அனுப்பிச்சிடும் சீக்கிரம். 5ல வந்திருக்கிற மெயில் ஐடி தானே போனேன். பின்ன எந்த நேம்ல இருக்கு? வாசிக்கிறோம் எடுத்துன்னு வாங்க.
It was a call at 4 p.m. That's the link he had to join.
Yes. இதுல போயிருக்கேன். இதுதானே? கொஞ்சம் சீக்கிரம் போடுப்பா, இல்லைன்னா அவங்களுக்கு அனுப்பிச்சுடாது. மெயில் ஐடி காமிச்சிடும். This ameya.bkal. I think it's not like Google, no? Maybe Google madri illa the Microsoft Teams. Yeah, in between, if you have any questions or anything, 1 or 2 questions.
Thank you very much, madam. That is an inspiring thing, particularly what you talked about mesmerizing, right? So that's something many of us will remember for a long time. We underestimate what we can learn. If we just change the methodology, then, obviously we can do a lot.
Yes. And mostly, most importantly, we have to catch hold of the children at the primary level, The primary level teachers, their role is very predominant. And if you just leave them at that age, only then, the lot of dyslexia and all these kind of ADHD, all these problems just arise because they are left unidentified at that age. So that is where, our education system falters.
Sure.
So there we have to catch hold.
Greater emphasis on early childhood welfare and education.
Yes.
The
intervention at that young age is very easy, and it's very easy to mold also, the children at that young age. And when a child, when he is having dyslexia and things like that, and most of the parents, they just come to you at the age of, when they are in 9th standard, 10th standard, because school, they just send them out because for their non-performance, or their result will go away, all these kind of things. So when they just come to us by 9th, 10th and all, we have to see them academically and also give them the basics. That becomes, difficult, and child may not grow to that level extent possible. So it is always important for early intervention. The parents must accept and just bring the child at that young age, so that we can do transformation in 3 months or 6 months. Now we have a boy, actually, that's what, in fact, I just took a video. 3 months, within 3 months, autistic child. Yes, he has improved so well. Their parents were almost in tears, actually. They never realized that, this child will reply, and the child will talk and socialize. They never even imagined the child will become like this. And also academically and also socially, the child developed so well.
We have one question, madam.
I think he has sent you mail, just check.
One of our participants has raised the hand to ask a question.
Yes,
Janaki, you kindly ask a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, in between, did you receive the mail? Have you received the mail? I think he has just sent mail.
I can just start sharing 1 minute.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
We can take the question before they.
Meanwhile, we can take the
sure. Yes. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Dr. Bhuvana, I'm the parent of a special needs child, and your talk was very, very fascinating and inspiring. Thank you for that. It's more like an observation. Like, I feel parents also, sometimes the high achieving parents want the same thing. They try to pass on all their expectations on to that child, whatever they wanted to become or they didn't achieve in their life. I think somewhere we have to get our act also together, that, the child can maximize his potential, but beyond that, we should not stress the child.
Yes. See, what is very important, that's what I was just talking about, abundance. We just give everything in abundance to a child, what the child doesn't need anything. What the child needs, we fail to give. I had a case history last month. There was a girl who's celebrating a birthday, 15-year-old child, and she has taken money, for a teacher. Her mother is a teacher in a school, and she has taken money from her own bank. Mother doesn't realize, and she complains to the police, saying that someone has swindled my money and things like that. and without realizing that it is her own daughter. And she has made a cake for 15,000 rupees. She has made her face, and she has made her, all kind of technology she has used, and all these kind of things are happening for the children, and just for the cake, And nowadays, children, they all learn only shallow learning. That's what I told you. Shallow learning. They're okay with that. That just 10% of the children, they want to learn, and they want to experience something. They want to grow high, and they want to reach some top level. Only 10% of the children. Others, they just have a shallow learning, just pass away, just get on, go along, getting along. And now these distractions, you have gadgets. So that is the most pathetic situation for the children, actually. And being a technology company, I should not say this, but still, children have so much of distractions because of the gadgets.
Understood.
Yeah, this is actually ADHD child, and he was so much. Just hugged me, and he said, "Please come to the gate." And I just wanted you to just leave me in the gate and things like that. So. No, this actually I took, but anyway, the 5 W's of life. I always say, like women, 5 wives and 1 husband. It's 1 husband and 1 wife itself is very difficult, but 5 wives and 1 husband. This is what we have to ponder over throughout our life. Who you are and what lies ahead. When life pushes you, what you must do, and where there are choices, how you can just make your choices, and why this has happened to me, and how should I change it, all this, and how can I do it. I just took this actually, so it was taken it at the end. The video. Yes, yeah. In fact, we didn't find much time, because too much of workload, and we didn't find much time to take videos from our kids. Anyway, parents are told, like, we'll just take and we'll send, actually. Who's sharing, actually? Ameya, is it?
Yeah, I think she's having some challenge in playing the video. Ameya,
Okay.
The video is not actually added.
No, actually, you can just take from that link, YouTube link also.
Okay.
Just try to.
If anybody has any questions, please type it on chat window, or you can just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, any questions you might put it forward in the chat window, or you might unmute yourself and ask.
Bridges Oh.
I mean, you got hold of it? Yeah, I think we've got it.
August, after, August, around, and then, around, at, bitit, below, bitters, bitit, bitpit, bay, around, by, down, domain, expect, from, exit, inside, intro, like, clear, off, on, over, out, sky, off.
Yeah, this actually, no, with 3 months time, he in fact, he never used to sit. The sitting tolerance was not there at all. He used to keep on moving around and all that. He never used to sit, and very, very challenging child. And we also had an open day actually. We made all the children to read, write, spell, and all that. So,
excellent, excellent. Are there any further questions?
And there was also another girl actually, that Sylvia. You have seen that? There is another girl actually, the speech related girl. The commitment and the try she takes up, that's amazing. It's amazing. And she never used to utter even a single letter or single word. And how much I just tried with her, and now she's reading. She's doing a project and everything. So in fact, I just had that video also. And she draws so well. Wonderful drawing. She received prize actually in that inter-school competition. Central government conducted, and she got a prize actually. She got 7,500 cash award. And from our school, actually, 3 children were selected for cash award. Yeah, in the meantime, any questions? Hope I've just done some justice for having called me. Because I was just thinking, I didn't have time, and
more than justice.
How we are going to present and things like that, I was just thinking. So
more than justice, we had a good participation.
Yeah.
On behalf of Sasken, all my colleagues, and also my team, I wish to sincerely thank you for sharing your journey of making a difference to 6,000 lives. And making a difference to 6,000 lives is not an easy task to achieve, particularly when the challenges are many, the resources are constrained. You gave us multiple things to sort of learn. One is about dignity of work. I think that's a very big takeaway. Whether we're sweeping the road or whether we're doing some transformation, dignity is important. Second thing is lower your expectation of others, because everyone will have views. If you're driven by others' expectations, you cannot succeed. That's the second thing you talked about. The third thing you talked about is actually pursuing excellence, pursuing it so doggedly with purpose and passion, which was another thing. Also, in a very humble way, you said everything finally belongs to the Almighty, which was very nice.
Yes.
Only achievers can talk about this. So you also gave us the ABCDEFG, which is, adapt, believe, commit, discover, put in your efforts, be flexible and goal oriented. I think these are definitely takeaways for anybody, whether it's in the field of education like you or software development like most of us over here. Thank you so much for the wonderful work the Pondicherry Dyslexia Association is doing in terms of uplifting not only the 6,000 children and putting them into the mainstream, but also to the 100+ orphans and semi-orphans that you're supporting in your organization. It's very heartrending to see people who don't say a single letter speak. So I think there's truly magic in your work. On behalf of everyone in Sasken, a very warm round of applause to you. Thank you so much for attending, everybody. And I'm sure your best wishes will always be there with Madam Bhuvana Vasudevan for the outstanding work that she's doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
And for the special children who are with you also, if I have to do something, kindly just tell me. Whatever best I can do, I'll just help those children to flourish and nurture in their life.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Maybe you can just go and see her performance. My name is Sylvia.